All right, on this edition, I am here with Amay Shireman, who is the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at Hanover College. Amay, thank you for
Yes,
joining me.
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, so Hanover, down in southern Indiana, beautiful, beautiful campus, beautiful area. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Hanover, where it is specifically, just some information about it, and why someone would want to attend Hanover.
Okay, great. So we are a small liberal arts and sciences school, and I like to say that we're small so you can do it all. We want students who are going to lean in to learning and students who are going to lean into what they love to do outside of the classroom. So we're looking for very active students. We're a great fit, especially for students who love the outdoors. We sit on 650 of, I think, some of the most beautiful acreage in the country. And thankfully, when they rank the beauty of college campuses, we're usually up there. They think the same. So great fit for students who like to explore the outdoors, hike, canoe. We've got a really great outdoor wilderness leadership opportunity for students. So, I think Hanover, first of all, we're about an hour and a half south of Franklin. So what I love about that is it's far enough that mom and dad can't just drop in, right? But it's close enough that they can come see you compete or perform or present, and you could get home for those special and important family events that you might want to partake in. So I think we're a great distance, especially for students from the central Indiana region. Again, I say we're small, so you can do it all. If you want to double major, fantastic. If you want to travel abroad more than once, outstanding. Let's go. If you're an artist and an athlete, fantastic. There's no reason for you not to do both and not for you to, again, lean into what you love. And so in order to do that, we have to remain small. We pride ourselves on the personalized attention and individualized instruction that our faculty deliver to our students. You're known at Hanover by name and by face. So I think we work really hard to personalize our approach, not just to recruitment, but also while students are there. So we're looking to create this sense of community where students really feel they belong. They found their purpose, and they can explore lots of different avenues, lots of different venues, opportunities in order to kind of figure that out for themselves. And so in our opinion, and it seems to have worked for nearly 200 years, we're getting ready to celebrate our bicentennial here in a couple of years, that approach has worked. It's been really successful. So if you're looking for that type of experience, certainly we would be a good fit for you.
And it's down there in Madison, which is essentially, it's like downtown Franklin on steroids, and instead of I was going to say, instead of it being on a creek, it's on a river. So
it's on a river, yeah.
So what are you looking for at Hanover and potential students?
Sure. So the first thing I'm looking for, quite frankly, knowing the level of rigor in our classroom, I'm looking for students who perform well in school. And by performing well, I mean they've taken courses that have challenged them, that have really helped to solidify a firm foundation upon which we can build. And so the students who normally, traditionally do well at Hanover are students who have leaned into learning. I keep saying that, but it's true. They've raised their hand. They've asked the questions. They've asked for maybe additional opportunities, even at the high school level, to do research or to find maybe a shadow visit type of opportunity where they can explore different careers. So I want a student who has sought out academic challenge and rigor in the classroom, because I know that that's what they'll have when they come to Hanover. I'm also looking for students who can do both, because college, yes, while the foundation of it is your academic development, it's also social, emotional, personal development. And if you don't know who you are, right, it can make it really hard to determine your approach to education or medicine or history or philosophy. So we're looking for students who want to get engaged within the community around us and beyond. So students who have an interest in travel abroad, students who have an interest perhaps in other domestic off-campus trips, interested in one of our over 70 clubs or several of our 70 plus clubs and organizations. And Hanover has about a 50% participation rate in varsity athletics. So we're a really good fit too for students who want to take their athletic skill set to the next level, but not necessarily at a Division I or a Division II institution.
Okay. And then, you talked about the rigorous classroom, and you want to see students who participate, raise their hands, things like that. What are the actual requirements as far as admissions into Hanover?
Sure. So our middle 50% runway is a 3.4 to a 3.7. Students want to be in line with the academic honors diploma, because if they are meeting the requirements for the academic honors diploma, they will be in line in having met our requirements for admission consideration. 4 years of English, 2 years of a social science, 3 years of a laboratory science, 3 years of mathematics, and then 2 years of a modern language or ASL. That's become really popular. So, we're looking for that type of curriculum. We have students north of a 3.7. We have students south of a 3.4. So what I would say is at Hanover, you want to be a solid 3.0 or better in order to ensure you can be successful in the classroom. But it's not just about that. We want you to be successful in the classroom, obviously, but we want you to be able to have a life outside of that classroom experience. So looking for students who can successfully manage both.
And I'm assuming, though, it's not like required that a student has the honors diploma. If they don't get it, it's not necessarily the end of the world for them.
It's not off the table, no. But what I will tell my students, especially my first and second year high school students, if you're a student who is eligible to receive state aid, shooting for that academic honors diploma means that you will maximize your eligibility for the state aid, whatever that package might be, whatever that grant might be in the year that you're making application for college. So I tell my students it's really important to shoot for the moon, but recognize your own challenges, recognize where you might have some weaknesses. And so we're willing to negotiate, certainly, with students who perhaps haven't been able to meet one or more of the requirements of the academic honors diploma. We practice what we call holistic admission, where we are taking into account all of the pieces of the puzzle to get an accurate picture of who this student is. And so sometimes there are very legitimate and valid reasons for why a student has not met X, Y, or Z requirement as part of that track. And we're always willing to have that conversation.
All right. Yeah. It's, looking at the student as a whole and making sure they're the right. I got you. So some of the majors that you offer, could you go over some of the ones that you think you're well known for? And then also, if a student gets accepted to Hanover, are they automatically able to go into those majors, or do they need to, are there other majors that may have more stringent requirements to get accepted?
That's a great question. That's an awesome question. At Hanover, we are a college and thereby a collection of departments, right? And so we don't have that sort of two-step approach that a university would have, whereas you make application to the university and then possibly make application to the school of X, Y, or Z, depending on where your major is housed. If you're admitted to Hanover College, you are admitted and eligible to pursue any academic pathway, any of the over 30 majors that we offer. Probably our most popular majors when we look at the volume of graduates, but also strength of major as it relates to regional and national reputation. Right off the bat, anything that ties to the health and biomedical sciences or natural sciences. For students interested in the natural sciences, environmental studies, environmental sciences, our backyard is a living laboratory for those students. We do have a very robust health and biomedical sciences program for our students, offering things like a 6-year doctorate of physical therapy program, kinesiology and integrative physiology, health and human movement. One unique feature on our campus, we have a cadaver lab, which for a campus of just about 1,050 students, you wouldn't normally see or find. And so we're really proud of the dollars that have been invested in our equipment, specifically within the sciences. Communications is another wonderful major for students interested perhaps in digital media, journalism, public and corporate communications. Great fit and great complement to any major that you might choose. Business, certainly, again, one of our most popular majors. We also offer for our students who show proficiency in that area the opportunity to apply for a business scholars program. Last year, I think the largest number of graduates came through the psychology major. So for Hanover, psychology is classified as a natural science. It's a preparatory degree for clinical work. And they've had amazing results with placement for either direct to workforce or graduate, or for students who might want to go on and get advanced credentials, professional school. So fantastic program. And then education. And I'm saying that not just because I was an English and secondary ed major, but because we've got the stats to back it up. So we've had a 100% placement rate for K-12 for the last 6 years. And I'm certain before my time at Hanover started, which would have been beyond that 6 years ago.
So as far as the big topic that a lot of people are talking about now is cost. Yes. So what is the cost to go to Hanover, the tuition and all that stuff? Mm-hmm. And all the interviews I've heard has been, this is the cost. You won't pay it. Correct. Because of this. So correct. Give us the cost and then this to get to what they'll actually pay.
Sure. So our cost this year, and again, I was an English major, so I'm going to use numbers that I can work with, not have to write down and try to do the math. Our cost this year is going to be around $53,000. That includes tuition, room and board, and fees, right? So your direct cost, what you will be billed for, right? Controlled expenses, that's going to be about $53,000. If you were offered admission to Hanover College, that comes with merit scholarship. And that's another reason why we're a little more competitive when looking at candidates who are qualified for admission. The minimum this year is a $20,000 merit scholarship. So right off the bat, that drops you to $32,000, $33,000, right? If you come to visit as a senior, you're going to receive a $2,000 one-time campus visit experience award that will stack on top of your merit aid. For students who file the FAFSA each year that you're with us, that's an additional $2,000 on top of your merit aid. So Hanover has long prided itself on being a top value when it comes to liberal arts and sciences institutions, right? Our peer and aspirant institutions. We have really positioned ourselves to be a best value, a top value, because we believe very firmly in affording access to a very high touch, high caliber, high value liberal arts and sciences experience at a price point that will not crush students with overwhelming debt. Right? So we've tried to be very aggressive with merit aid. We also have expanded our Pell Promise program. So for students who are eligible to receive Pell dollars, Hanover College will cover the cost of your tuition. So that's the biggest chunk of the bill. Some other things that we've done include a price freeze. So for students, when they come in, let's say fall of 23, the price that you're paying for tuition is the price you will pay all 4 years that you're with us. And when we calculate that savings, that's close to $6,000 in savings. And so I try to encourage my students, especially at the high school level, work so hard in the classroom, really, really make academics your priority. Connect with your college counselors to ask them about outside scholarships, community-based scholarships, things that might add on top of what I would consider to already be a really aggressive financial aid, both merit and need-based matrix. We don't ever want cost to be the reason why a student says no to Hanover.
Right. Yeah. There's plenty there to get you through without having to pay the initial sticker cost. So it's always important to go through and look around and make sure that you're getting everything you've got. So
absolutely.
All right. So last one, just think about when you were a sophomore, junior, senior in high school 7 or 8 years ago, and uh, and think about what you knew then or didn't know then, I guess, that you wish you knew now, or just what you see kids going through that you think they need to know.
Mm-hmm. So what my advice to 16, 17-year-old me, which of course just a few years ago, figure out an organizational method that works for you. So figure out whether that's a notebook where you make a list every day of what you need to stay on top of, whether that's an app, whether that's some other, maybe just a good old-fashioned paper-based calendar. But I think that's the thing that students struggle with the most when they come to us, is being organized, finding a system in which they can stay on top of all of the things, right? So I really encourage my students at the high school level, figure out a way to get yourself organized, right? Figure out also, quite frankly, a way that you can train yourself to read regularly, because reading is a really important part of our curriculum, regardless of the major. So reading and writing both are skill sets that I think it's really important that students stay on top of, because we are reading and writing intensive across the curriculum. And oftentimes students will say, I had no idea that I was going to have 2 hours of reading every night that I needed to do. But then my students who perform well always say, I'm really glad I trained myself to learn when I am at my best to do my homework, how I am at my best as it relates to organization, and just staying in that constant sort of rhythm. I think that would really best serve students. That's what I would tell myself, because I know that's what I've struggled with, and until I found a system that worked, but it unfortunately cost me a couple of missteps right along the way, until I was like, oh my gosh, I guess I got to get my stuff in a pile. So that's what I would tell my students, is stay in the routine, the discipline of reading. And you can read for fun. It doesn't have to be heavy academic reading, picking up a newspaper. I know everybody does everything electronically now, so just staying in the habit of reading, I think is important, but daily especially. But then most importantly, I would say find an organizational system that works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Staying organized and always be learning, right?
Yes.
That's very important, very important. Well, May, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And Hanover, such a beautiful campus, and we can get some kids down there, take a look and see what it's like. So thank you.
You bet. My pleasure.
Once again, May Shireman, the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at Hanover College.